What does it mean to dream? Are you a dreamer or are you asleep? In today's video, we're going to talk about shamanism, dreaming, and what it means for you along the path of manifestation and creation. So grab yourself a drink and let's get started. Welcome to the channel, everyone. My name's Fola, and here on Deep Mind Squared, we talk all things magical practices and altered states. And here today, I felt it was important to discuss dreaming. I spent the last weekend supporting a group of women as they explored the dream time and their personal dreamers. And this work of connecting to the dream has been a part of my life over the past 4 or 5 years now. As I stepped more into shamanism, into ancestral healing, I began to realize just how important it is for us to connect to our dreams. And so what does this all mean for you? This video is really going to support those who are maybe curious about the dream time and aren't really sure where to start, or maybe you've been working within your dreams and want to dive deeper and just really aren't sure how to go about doing that. I'm going to leave you some tips, some reasons as to why you might want to do this, and also talk about a few different types of ways in which we can tap into our dreams. So of course, if you're new to the channel, I want to welcome you and remind you that you can always hit that subscribe button below. Let us know in the comments what brought you here. And to those of you coming back, I want to thank you for your support as this channel continues to grow and reach more people. And interestingly enough, my most popular video, I want to say, is actually the Blue Lotus lucid dreaming video. So if you were led here because of that, or you're curious about that, I'll talk a little bit about Blue Lotus flower as a herb that you can use. I just want to say that there's clearly this desire for many people now to awaken their dreamer and to connect more deeply to the dream time. So within shamanism, the animistic and very ancestral rooted sort of spirituality or belief process, there is this idea that the dreams are ultra important. And when we talk about the dreams, there is not only the great dream of spirit, this dream stream that permeates every existence of each soul, each idea, everything that's come to be and will come to be. There's also our personal dream time. What is it that's your path? What is your sort of destiny? And the part of you is the dreamer, this sort of other aspect of you that is in the highest, truest energetic form that moves through time and space and through that dream stream and wants to show you and guide you along your path. Part of shamanism and various other magical practices is to connect to this dreamer, this light body, or the magical light body, the astral body, if you will. And so there's so many different ways in which you can go about doing this. And the first step really is about acknowledging and being open to the awareness of the fact that you are a dreamer. So why would one want to actually access the dream time or become aware of their dreams? I'd say the most important parts are to support us with connecting to our life purpose, connecting to that blueprint of Great Spirit and what it is that we're meant to carry out on this life path. And also to support us with connecting with our ancestors, those that have come before us, those that will come in the future. It kind of opens up the doorways to healing gifts and ways in which we can show up in the world. There's also this whole concept of healing, and that word I've been sitting with is what really is healing, and whatever the case might be. The way I want to identify this term is that it leads to an expansiveness of our consciousness. So whether that means healing past stories, past traumas and experiences, physical, mental, emotional, or spiritual, it's also about leading to a deeper understanding of ourselves, a deeper understanding of why we're here on this earth, what it is that we're meant to be creating while we're here, and also supporting us with releasing those past stories and the things that might trigger us or activate us, the victim story. And so what happens really when we talk about healing is we are empowered and we're able to stand up in our personal power with a sense of sureness and go with life and go in the flow of life and also with the zest for life. And of course, this all aligns then with what many people online seem to be curious about. And I mean, me too. I love the idea of like moving energy and creating through manifestation. What does it look like and what does it mean for us to manifest? And the dreams, being aware of our dreams, being aware of the fact that we are a dreamer as well, that this is part of the manifestation process. That whatever you can dream or imagine can come into physical reality. So those, I would say, are the three main reasons why I think it's important for us to become aware and acknowledge about the dream time. Now, there's so many different forms of dreaming. I wanted to talk about three main ones. I think a huge part is folks researching and looking up online lucid dreaming. So lucid dreaming is a form of dreaming in the sleeping dream, where basically what happens is you become consciously aware that you were dreaming. Many times what happens for folks in a lucid dream is they start to realize that they can actually control their dream body. Sometimes when this happens, people are jolted awake, we can kind of get a little in our head, so to speak, and it throws off that level of conscious awareness. So with a lucid dream, if this is something you've had, playing around with it and recognizing how far can you go. And I would like to say that the sorcerers of old, folks who kind of practice shamanism from kind of an alternate view, they were able to lucid dream and connect in that space and move and flow very freely, and thus kind of manipulate, dare I say, or alter the fragment of reality. Lucid dreaming can be accessed through a variety of ways. You can easily look this up online. There's lots of different techniques to induce a sort of hypnotic state prior to going to bed or after you've woken up really early in the morning and then go back into a deep state of sleep. And so it's up to you to find your way, and it does require a lot of practice, I would say. This could also kind of bridge you towards the space of astral projection, which is different than lucid dreaming, though I would liken it to also becoming aware of your astral body, this dreamer aspect that can go beyond the limitations or the laws of gravity and so forth in this physical reality. So the second type of dream I want to talk about is just our regular sleeping dream. There is, the lucid dreaming where you become really conscious in the sleep time, and then there's the regular sleeping dream. And of course, we are always dreaming. Okay, so even if in your sleep time you don't recall your dreams or you wake up and you're like, oh, I didn't dream, you were most likely dreaming. We enter into dreams in the REM sleep, in that rapid eye movement, and it's this other level of consciousness that we're tapping into. It's our subconscious, unconscious mind. So it works in the place of symbols and archetypes and themes and whatever those sort of correspondences might be that tap into your personal story. When I teach Reiki, I often talk about figuring out what your intuitive kind of encyclopedia or dictionary is so that you can translate and connect the dots between what's showing up in your world and what is showing up in the kind of energetic magical space. And this helps build your intuition. So in the sleep dream, if you are noticing certain themes or repetitive dreams or even those nightmares that are oftentimes uncomfortable, there is something there that's wanting to support you with that healing, with the expansion of your consciousness. Sleeping dreams can also be a time where your ancestors and other beings want to communicate with you, including your dreamer. And so this is why it's important to use the sleeping dream as another point of your day-to-day. In shamanism, the way I learned was we have our sleeping dream, and then we also have the awake dream, which is going to be the next type of dream that we're going to talk about in a moment. Recognizing that if we can see the full 24-hour clock as an opportunity to dream, there is so much more power. And what a relief, you don't have to actually do anything except set an intention before bed and allow your dreamer to show you what wants to be shown. In the dream time, then you can get solutions to different problems that you're facing, support with maybe releasing some type of previous pattern that no longer serves you. And also you can actually manifest different types of tangible results in the dream time that then will be carried over into the awake time. My teacher used to talk about this kind of like infinity symbol where, it's like we're in a sleeping dream and then we're in the awake dream. And so let's talk a bit about what the awake dream might be like for you. This is the one that, for me personally, as someone who's very active and in like the masculine energy primarily, it's really important to recognize the power that we hold and that the universe, the world around us, wants to communicate through symbols and stories and all sorts of energies so that we can understand ourselves in a deeper way. And so the awake dream is really when you are going about your day-to-day life. We're awake, so to speak, yet we are still in this like ever-expanding consciousness of spirit. So once you start to play with the dreams, in whether it's lucid dreaming or the sleep dream or however other way you feel called, you start to notice that there is actually no space between these two. It's all one. And it's almost like we're just operating from a different vessel, I want to say. And of course, this physical vessel in the physical awake time seems more real, at this point, because we're used to it. Like, we're more conscious of it. And this whole life journey, in my opinion, is to wake up more to the sleep time. And we can do that, though, by also acknowledging the awake time dream. So I think if I can talk a bit here about the different ways in which we dream or how we can develop dreaming, that might help you to have a better sense in your own experience of what the difference or similarities might be between the sleep and awake dream. So I mentioned initially that one of the best ways to deepen your dreaming is to acknowledge that you are a dreamer, to recognize this gift of dreaming, and that life doesn't have to be like a day in, day out sort of matrix. You've probably seen the movie. This is, in my opinion, what this is all about, is recognizing that for the most part, people are just sleeping. They don't realize that they have this superpower inside and that the world around them is kind of just like the simulation that may or may not exist. That ultimately you have more power based on your intention, based on your willingness to allow certain energies or downloads or codes into your body or your being, and then express them in your day-to-day. And so to acknowledge the dream time means to accept you as the dreamer and being open to receiving the guidance and support from whichever guides, ancestors, or beings, spirit, your dreamer, whatever it is, whatever energies want to contribute to support you on your path. And so how do we deepen this? We can go even deeper once we acknowledge the dream. Then it's up to you to start to really recognize the dream and to see the patterns. See those corresponding stories, symbols, colors, images, whatever it might be that are showing up in your reality. This is where journaling can come in hand. You want to spend time writing and reflecting on whatever shows up in your dream time. And this, I think, can be a practice that many people find hard because, they wake up and they're like, oh, I can't remember my dream, and so they just let it go. What I invite you to do here is to have your journal with you when you go to bed, right beside you. You can write out an intention before bed and then go to sleep. In the morning when you wake up, as soon as you get up, hopefully you have a lamp there or have light just on in your room. Try not to move too much and start to write. Free flow, association, whatever is showing up for you. Whether that means you recall certain parts of the dream, you can write those out and put as much detail as you can. Or if you have a certain feeling, a sensation, an emotion in your body, maybe a certain thought or something that's going through your mind, write that out in your journal and then free flow association from that. And what begins to happen when we write in the journal and just really reflect on these pieces, more and more information, more details, more remembering from the dream comes into the physical reality. And this is how you start to build that relationship with your dreamer. So journaling, acknowledging your dreamer, asking your dreamer to help and support you, and also just simply by intending through various practices. And one of those said practices I wanted to share here today is working with different plants and herbs so that you can really dive into this other energetic space within the liminal space, the altered state. And this is, I think, the fun part of being a magician, being someone who's a magical being. And there's so many different plants that you can use to support you on your journey. Some of my favorites, I would say, are cannabis, mugwort, blue lotus flower, and African dream seed. I mentioned I have a blue lotus flower video, and I actually also have an African dream seed video. You can check those out. I'll link them somewhere here and probably in the description as well. Using these herbs can support us with diving deeper into different areas of our brain, is how I would identify it. It's like tapping into, an energy of a plant that is much more easily able to flow through the dream. And then it's like we kind of get to ride with it as well. So that's how I personally identify it. It can be a lot of fun to experiment with these different plants and to see what shows up for us. And so those are just a few of the ways I would recommend for you to start deepening your dreaming and to start to recognize what is showing up in your reality. For me, with the awake dream and the sleep dream, what I've found happens is I will go to bed and I will set my intention, and the hope, like most of the times, is okay, I'm gonna get all the information I need to receive or understand this sort of intention in my dreamscape at sleep time. And I sleep, I have some dreams, and it's like, oh, okay, well, maybe that kind of makes sense, and yet maybe it doesn't. Maybe sometimes I don't actually remember any of my dream, but I have this internal feeling of excitement or just this energy moving. And then I go through my day in the awake time, in that awake dream, and things just start to unfold like so magically. Like I honestly can't even begin to explain how synchronistic life can be. And it's amazing to see how I get the answer or the resolution of my intention through that whole 24-hour period or beyond. So don't lose hope. If you feel like dreaming is out of your scope, if you're not sure really how to go about it and you're losing that faith, I hope that this video can support you with reconnecting to your dreamer. And simply just asking your dreamer, asking spirit to support you with the reconnection to this gift of dreaming, because this is what our ancestors have done for thousands of years. This is a part of who we are, and we can be so distracted by life in our day-to-day. It's time to put down the phones, put down the tech, and reconnect inside, and the dream can start to awaken in each of us. And then it'll awaken more as it manifests into the physical reality. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I want to thank you for tuning in. And of course, feel free to join our membership portal and check out some of our other videos. Lots of fun, supportive healing techniques and ways to expand your consciousness and connect to your personal truth. And until the next time, folks, I'll see you again soon.